Okay, this is an image from Adina, and I'm not going to try to say the last name. I probably even said the first name wrong. But Adina sent me this image for a couple of things. I think the initial request was for wrapping. There is a couple of things you can do in post to kind of get this wrap to look a little bit more smooth. But initially, she would have wanted to tuck the knees up to the elbows inside the wrap to make this body look more round and tight. And then the little toes would come up here, and you can tuck something underneath her bum to bring those legs up and in. So, sorry, my kids are home. Can you guys be quiet? I'm doing a video. Pretty cool rocket. Good job. That's really cool. Take it outside. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so I can show you how I might adjust this. I tried this already, and it doesn't work fabulously with the texture of this wrap. So I will show you. We can adjust it a little bit, but we won't be able to adjust it fully. So I went into the Liquify tool. Sorry, I did that too fast. So you go to Filter, Liquify, and you can just move this out a little bit and in a little bit, but with textures it gets hard because it starts to look stretched. So you want to just do a little bit at a time. You could bring her knee up and in a little bit, pull that out a little bit. You just don't want to make those textures look stretched out and obviously adjusted. So you could actually make this whole thing move up and in if you want to adjust for that wood, but you start messing with these lines and it's really hard. But you could shorten it up and make her look a little bit tighter. What you can do down here, obviously it's messing this up, but you can put it on a separate layer and paint back in the wood, and I'll show you how to do that. So I didn't do that on an extra layer, so I'm going to undo that, but then I'm going to create a new layer by hitting Control J, and then just go to Filter, and your last one should be there, so then it will do it again. So we've adjusted the whole basket, and then we're going to put a mask on this layer and paint back in the wood so that it looks normal again. Okay, and then down here, I would flatten this, and then I would take my patch tool and just copy that over so that it continues that line and gets rid of this line. I'm not digging that. Let's move it. There we go. Okay, anything else funky? I don't see anything. It did liquefy her foot a little bit weird. So let's go back to before the flatten and put her foot. I'm going to make another. Let me think about it for a second. I'm going to copy this one and put it on top and make a mask and invert it to black. And that, or let's not invert it yet. Let's go to 50 and line up those feet so that her feet look normal. We're just going to paint back in her feet so that they're regular size. So then invert your mask, go to 100%, and paint back in her toes to look normal. Then we'll have to fix the lines of everything, but that also fixes the basket right here. Okay, we're going to flatten all that and then fix the lines on the floor. So we're going to take this whole area and put that line back in. And get rid of this one right here. This is a lot. Sorry, if you guys have questions, please ask. I'm kind of going fast. Sometimes I forget that I'm showing people. I just get going. So fix anything that looks funky. One more thing that that I noticed about this image is that it's not quite straight in the lines, and that kind of makes me nuts. So if you go to your crop tool and hit the straighten tool and just drag your mouse across, you click, drag, and then let go across that straight line, it straightens out your image. And I would center her a little bit and then fill this in with your Control F5, Content Aware Fill. We'll fill that back in. I missed some. Oh gosh, I don't know what just happened. Let's go undo or hit enter. Oh, it's cropping. I don't want to crop. Okay, so I don't want to be on the crop tool. I want to be on the patch tool. Okay, so that's all filled in, looks right. Okay, so the next thing I would do to this image, I'm going to talk about just kind of what I would do to her image, but then we're going to talk about sharpening at the end because somebody had asked about that. So we're just going to do all this together. If there are any marks that are like birthmarks, I always ask the parents if they want them gone or not. She doesn't have any. She actually has really good skin, but if there were, make sure you ask the parents what they want gone. Some of them even want all the little dry skin flakes still on there, and it's just part of being a newborn. Some people want it and some people don't, so make sure you ask the parents. So if this were my image, I would bring it down a bit in light. It's a little bit bright, but I'm sure that Adina wanted it this way. So I'm going to show you what it looks like at this point. So you can always do a screenshot of your progress, and I recommend doing this now and again because then you can go back further than you can if you don't screenshot. So there's our beginning, and there's we tucked her in a little bit and shortened basket. So then if I were done with this image, then I would want to sharpen it. And the way that I sharpen, I actually have a couple of different actions. One that I made myself is just an unsharp mask. So you would go to Filter, Sharpen, Unsharp Mask. And these are my settings right here. You can take a screenshot. I'll leave it up for just a second. And that is what I would use for my sharpening. And if you zoom all the way in, you'll see what that does. Just makes it a little sharper. Another cool action for just lashes and stuff is, let me find it, hold on, I always have to run this one so I can find the other action, is I think they're GTG, Darken and Sharpen Lashes. So you run that. You can do this yourself just with the burn tool, but obviously that is too strong. But so you paint that on and then change your opacity to where it looks good, that it darkens them up a little bit, makes the eyes pop a little bit. So another option for sharpening that I do more often than not, that one's a basic sharpen just for anything. This one's like my finishing sharpen is, and I showed you guys on another video, I don't remember which one, but I use the Smart Sharpen, and I have it as an action, but I think, yeah, these settings aren't right. Okay, let's see if I can look up my settings on my Smart Sharpen. I'm gonna go back to button mode. So I have it as a hotkey as well. You guys need to learn hotkeys, but I don't even remember. Control F5 is what I have it as. Let's see if it'll show my settings. It might not show them. I might have to look them up. while that is processing, I'm going to look up and see if I can find the image. I learned this sharpening from Mary Chris Photography. She's my favorite. And she showed me her settings, so I'll see if I can find the settings. I got to go visit her in May. And she taught me so much. I recommend working with other photographers and just learning from each other. Okay, so I found the settings. So it's not going to show me, but that does show you what a difference it makes in sharpening. So when you're looking at your sharpening, you want to look at it at 100% and it will look kind of crunchy. So then you want to look at it at your print size and just see if you like what it looks like, because that's what it's going to look like print size. But if you're looking at 100%, it's going to look like it's too much, but it won't necessarily be too much. One thing about this is I would mask it off anything that has a ton of texture because it makes it look way too crunchy. So I would do a 50% brush and just brush it off of anything that has a ton of texture. You mostly just want it on the face. You could do the opposite and invert the mask and then just paint it on the parts that you want to be sharp. But I'm going to delete that and show you the settings for the Smart Sharpen. So we're going to go to Sharpen, Smart Sharpen. Let's see. So it's on I can't remember how you get that third setting in there. There's a trick. Anyway, so it's 387 on your amount and 4.2 on your radius. And you do want a reduced noise. Okay, when you put it to lens blur, I think it gives you the option of reduced noise. Maybe not. Okay, so you have to go to settings and take off the use legacy. And then you can adjust your lens blur to 35. So that is the settings I use for my Smart Sharpen. Or Mary Chris's Smart Sharpen. I'm sure she learned it from somewhere else too. But I like to give her credit. So it doesn't normally take this long. It's just because we're video recording. So there's too many things going on my computer. This is a long video. Sorry, ladies. I hope it helps. Please ask me questions if you have any. I know I go pretty fast sometimes. Hotkeys and shortcuts are my friend, and they will be your friend too if you learn them, because it saves you loads of time. Maybe one of these days I'll sit down and write a hotkey list or shortcut list. If you're lucky. So we want to look at it at 100%. See our crunchiness. And then at print size, say, yeah, I like that, but I still would brush it off of this wrap. Anyway, I didn't make another layer, so I forgot. I would go back and do that. So that is how I would finish this image. So our before, let's look at our history again, make a snapshot. Before and after. Thanks for watching.